Indian court rules freedom of speech is not a license to hurt religious feelings. Uh-oh. On April 7th, the Allahabad High Court denied the anticipatory plea of a Popular Front India activist, Mohammad Nadeem. Mohammad Nadeem. The Popular Front of India is a Kerala-based Muslim organization which has been accused of terrorist activities. So terrorist is a coded word we use because of the YouTube algorithm. Mohammad Nadeem had allegedly made comments against Ram Temple's foundation stone laying ceremony in Ayodhya. Wait, I never say this right. Ayodhya, and asked Muslims to come forward to protect Babri Mosque's site. When his bail plea was rejected, the court observed that freedom of speech does not grant a person permission to hurt the religious beliefs of other citizens. The Ram Temple is being built at the place where in 1992, Hindutva extremists destroyed the Babri Mosque. Nadeem's counsel, Yusuf Uz Zaman Safwi, said that Nadeem's anticipatory bail application was rejected without considering his claims. In November 2019, the Supreme Court declared the mosque's demolition was illegal, but handed over the land to a government-run trust. So just as a little bit of background, the site of this temple is highly contested, and it's been highly contested between Muslims and Hindus, and even Shias and Sunnis since like the 18th century. It is, according to legend, the birthplace of Lord Rama. So obviously that's going to be extremely important to people who are, Hindus, or even more particularly Hindutva extremists. And, but for hundreds of years, since like the Mughal Empire, it was a mosque. And then in 1992, it was demolished by extremists. And then there's been contention ever since about what should happen with this site. There was a period where it was just closed off to anyone of any faith. I think that was in the 40s. And anyways, now it's highly contentious and is going to be rebuilt as a temple, which is why they're talking about laying this foundational stone. And this guy said he was against this and wanted Muslims to oppose this. And that's offensive enough.
Wait, that was the offensive thing? I thought he was like, he said, I'm going to go pee on it or something. Like he just said, what did he say?
I need to find it exactly, or what.
All right, while you do that, let me just say something.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of blasphemy and sexy Kali, like me, then that means that you probably want more blasphemous art. Well, I have good news for you. If you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below, then you get a free booklet of some of the tastiest blasphemous art available today. So if you want some of this delicious blasphemy, and we're so generous that we update it for you guys weekly for free, all you have to do is sign up for our newsletter below. You can also go to blasphemousart.com/ebook. That's blasphemousart.com/ebook. Sign up with your email, and you get free gifts of this tasty blasphemy. What could be better? So make sure you sign up. Link below.
Okay. Listen to what this says, okay? They're saying, the court, correct me, so the court is saying freedom of speech is not a license to hurt religious feelings. Mm-hmm. It is a license to hurt religious feelings. It's exactly that. What are you talking about? It is a license to say anything as long as it's not a crime like advocating for direct violence or scam or libel. Hurting people's feelings is not something that's supposed to. What else is freedom of speech for? Actually, wait a minute. It's not only freedom of speech. Not only freedom of speech gives you a license to hurt other people's feelings. The entire point of it
Yes.
The entire point of free speech is to be able to hurt other people's feelings. Do you know why?
To
Do
have
you know,
the license to do it.
Yep. No, let me finish. You know why the entire point of freedom of speech is to hurt other people's feelings? Because if speech that doesn't hurt anyone's feelings does not need any laws or rights to protect it. If you're saying stuff that nobody is hurt by, nobody is going to come and attack you or try to silence you. So you wouldn't need freedom of speech. The entire existence of freedom of speech rights is a license to be able to hurt other people's feelings. And this is the court in India. Like, what is this, the highest court in India?
I don't know. I get very confused about how the Indian court system works.
No,
so
this
I'm
is
not gonna-
it is
a high court.
Okay,
high court.
It's a regional high court. It's not the highest court. I hope when we get to the highest court in land, there's some more sane people on that. But Rivka, you want to say something?
Well, I think you got to it, but you were saying about, the fact of being able to say it, and that's what it means to have the license, right? You have the protection of the law to the degree that no one can kill you, hurt you, beat you up. The government's not going to come after you as they're doing here for saying what you think. So this idea that somehow people have a right not to be offended. No. And what's really interesting is there was a ruling by another judge which related to something about us and someone's offense. And that judge said you don't have a right not to be offended. You went looking for offense, you found it, and now you are upset. So I find it interesting that you have some judges saying one thing and some saying another. And I also feel like that what these people were arrested on was this Penal Code 15.3a, which also, it's so overbroad. Promoting enmity between different groups on grounds of religion, race, place of birth, residence, language, etc. Yeah. So anything you say about anyone could potentially be illegal.
But they only really go after people for the religious stuff. It's 15.3a coupled with 295a, which is
Why do you still have your hands up? You're just talking.
India's last. Well, okay. Thanks, teacher. So I haven't been able to find exactly what he said, but here's the information that I was able to find. He allegedly delivered a speech against the foundation stone laying ceremony of the Ram Temple. So it's not that more specific. And so here's something from the judge. In his order, Justice C.D. Singh said, quote, "The fundamental right to freedom of speech and expression in a secular state is not an absolute license to injure and hurt religious feelings and faiths and beliefs of fellow citizens. A person who takes the risk of dissemination of blasphemous messages is not entitled to get the discretion of the court exercised in his favor." I think that is ridiculous in this case, especially because of how highly contested the history of this specific site is. The ownership of this site, it's been going through the court for decades. And whether or not the court, the history of it originally is itself very contested. There's a lot of different opinions on it. So say someone has a different historical analysis of how this site originated. What if they don't agree with
what's the crime?
What is accepted as fact?
What is the crime he's being?
This guy did not like that they were doing laying foundational stones for this new temple on a demolished mosque.
What is he being charged with? What is
the crime? Is he said bad things about the stone?
Blasphemy.
Okay.
Well,
blasphemy.
like I said before, 15.3a and 295a are essentially what is India's blasphemy laws. They're not called
Yeah.
blasphemy laws, but in
Right.
effect they are, because they're
And
about offending religious beliefs. Although, like Rivka said, it applies to other characteristics, but to my knowledge, it's not very common for them to be applied for other characteristics or protected groups. But I wanted to make a small commentary on Rivka's thing, comparing it to our situation. With our situation, what was different though was that lawyer suing.
give some context to people.
Yes.
about
So
what-
there was a really butthurt, like Hindu nationalist lawyer who's been like judicially harassing us or like other entities on behalf of our content.
coming after
because
Atheist
of
Republic.
Sexually
Nuisance value lawsuits. The
Yeah,
nuisance value lawsuits.
and actually bringing our case all the way up to the Supreme Courts, not a regional court, high court, but the Supreme Court of India. But yeah, go on.
Yeah. So, two differences. One, the Supreme Court thing was separate. I'm talking about how he was trying to sue the telecommunications ministry, and Facebook itself for our content being on the platform. So that was a personal suit. We were not a necessary party to that suit. What was different was that, like I said, that's a suit. So that's like just between the necessary parties, right? That's not like the judge rejected his bringing this before the court on the basis of you went looking for this and then you said you were offended by it and then you wanted to sue people over it. Like that's your fault, right?
Yeah,
so
that
more of a
was
personal matter.
civil. This is criminal.
Exactly. And another key distinction is that he filed that in a local court in Delhi. This is happening in Uttar Pradesh. So obviously those are very different environments. Probably a very different temperature towards these types of things. I'm not, familiar with the judicial culture of different states of India, but I'm making the presumption that things would be a little more intense than Uttar Pradesh.
Right. By the way, some people are making the point in the live chat that we often make. What if we get offended by the Quran and Hindu scripture? Like, is that a reverse Uno card on them? Like, can somebody actually try this in India? Somebody brave? Actually, no, don't try this. You might get, your life will get ruined. But if somebody wanted to sacrifice their peace for the sake of the future of India, can you try to challenge the courts and, I don't know, say like the Quran or the Puranas offends you, and just be like and be like, freedom of speech is not a license to hurt my feelings, and my feelings are hurt based on the teachings. The temples, these temples, okay, a woman, okay, could be like, I don't like that they are teaching the fact that and I can't go to this temple when I'm on my period, right? This is offensive to me. This is in the scripture. But what am I even talking about? The Dalits be like, hey, freedom of speech is not a license to hurt our feelings. We are like treated as inferiors in this country. This hurts our feelings. I mean,
well, that's like risking your, like, that's even more risky.
Yeah, I mean,
but Armin, that's kind of exactly what the temple of the Satanic temple does. They use these laws for supposed, religious freedom, and then they say, okay, well, what about our religious freedom? And then it forces these lawmakers into a position of either having to say, no, that's just about us, or
is there a Dalit community, like union group or something, that could like make a collective case against Hinduism and the fact that their feelings are hurt? I mean, they have a lot more to complain about than just hurt feelings. But I'm just saying that they're using their own. I don't know.
That's an understatement.
A lot of that anti-Dalit rhetoric and scriptures and all that stuff, it does all the things that 15.3a says. It causes enmity between people based on their group, Dalits. It it causes a break in the cohesion of the community, all these things. That's exactly what it does.
Yeah, Goddess Katie is saying we need a dharmic version of the Satanic Temple in India. What would that be around? Would that be like, I was asking Susie, who's like the devil in Hinduism? Who is it? Is it like, was that guy that stole Sati?
Sita.
Sita. Was that the guy? Sorry. Was that the
It
guy?
seems like they're both.
No.
Some of the goddesses are
It's-
bad and good at the same time too, like a destroyer and
Yeah.
a creator, like a
No,
devil too.
Destroyer is not a bad thing in Hinduism. But no, that demon dude with a lot of heads that stole Sita, he actually is worshipped as the good guy in certain parts of the India. So those are, and a very small community of people. He's the hero of the story. And Rama is the bad guy. So maybe they can be the Satanic Temple of India. But God, what do you say?
So Katie is saying that the closest thing is not the goddess Kali, but the Ashura Kali.
That's what I was trying to say before I was hyperactive, dominant conversation interrupted.
But you're saying it's incorrect to say being a destroyer is a bad thing. I mean, Shiva is a destroyer.
Because I didn't get to finish. I was going to say the destroyer and the creator, like Kali, was going to be my next sentence.
But Kali is also good. No, Kali is good.
But she has a demonic or a bad kind of side. And there's a lot of demons in like Tibetan Buddhism, which is very similar in a lot of ways to some of the Indian stuff.
You know who is actually closest to Lucifer? I was talking to Susie about this in Hinduism.
Yes, last night.
Yes, Agni. Agni is the light bringer. Agni is a light bringer, just like Lucifer, right? Mm-hmm. And he also brought fire as a gift from the gods to humans, just like Prometheus. So, and he's also named, the name Agni is the same thing as the word where the word ignite comes from, right? And he's also seen as one of the gods that is closest to humans as all the other gods. So maybe, and he's the fire god. I mean, actually, he's already said he's not demonized, so that's not going to work. But anyway, Susie, what are you going to say?
The demon that stole Sita is called Ravana, and so Parik is saying Jai Ravana, Jai Ravana, glory to him.
Oh yes, we should do that. The Jai Ravana community, we should make that as for the Dalits. The Dalits.
Well, there already is a tradition of worshiping him. I'm wondering.
Wait, what was that? Actually, never mind. I know exactly who we should make deify. The Dalit that Rama killed for being a Dalit.
Oh, and not following his dharma.
Yes, there needs to be a temple around that guy. There needs to be a temple around that guy, the victim of Rama, for dying for being
There's something in the not following the dharma that if you twisted and played with it, you could get a good name for it too, like not my dharma, or something, or my dharma is none of your business, or I'm trying to think of some way that you could work that. But yeah, mind your own dharma.
Yeah,
mind your own dharma.
Shambuk was the guy who was killed by Rama. Killed by Rama, right? Was it Rama? Yeah, I think it was killed by Rama. And he was a Dalit. He was an outcast. We could make a temple around that for Dalits. Okay, and again, this is not a real religion. Just like the Satanic Temple is a made up religion that people don't believe in. Is to make a point, and by turning it into a religion of like legally a religion, but belief-wise, people actually don't believe in it, right? As a religion. So we're not actually promoting religion. We're just technically, legally on paper, it's a religion. And therefore, we could create a community for Dalits to demand their religious privileges and going out and telling people that we're being discriminated against based on our religion, based on our beliefs. We're being offended. We are offended. Like, you constantly go out and use the same standards to defend themselves because we made a temple around Shambuk. We need the Shambuk temple for the Dalits and Dalit allies.
Well, people are saying it probably shouldn't be Ravan or Ravana because he was actually a Brahmin.
Yeah, so Shambuk.
Okay.
Let's do Shambuk. Yes.
I'm gonna write that down.
All right. Oh, wow. Let's make art. Let's make art with him.
I was just
fighting.
about to say, why don't you make a
Art about him, yeah.
Or one of the,
oh my goodness.
What?
Oh, I mean, if you just go to Google Images, it's a lot of beheading.
Oh, okay. See? Shambuk did nothing wrong. Hashtag Shambuk did nothing wrong. Yes. Okay. All right. Cool.
Hashtag Shambu did nothing wrong. Mind your own dharma.
Hashtag Dalit Lives Matter.
Exactly.
Hashtag Dalit Lives Matter. Yes. ARN, we have looked his information story, so we don't need your advice on this. Thank you so very much. We already have a lot of people that help us with this. ARN, like, oh, you don't. This is what butthurt people do in the live chat. Every time we say something we don't like, they're like, oh, you haven't done your research. You don't know what you're talking about. They have nothing to say other than being like butthurt over what we say. Oh, here, got it. Katie. Katie saying Shambuk studied the Vedas, which led to the accumulation of bad karma. So Rama killed him. That's how the story goes. Yes, I know the exact. So CARN, we actually know the story. And
yeah,
Katie, we already have Katie to help us with the story and all that. We don't need your help. Thank you so much, ARN.
We already knew that too.
That is a really good thing to when you're talking about freedom of expression to say, like, look, it's similar to God killing Adam and Eve for knowledge. So his bad karma came from studying the Vedas to try and reach enlightenment and to maybe understand things better, have more better himself. Maybe he's studying his right action, right thought, all those things. But instead of it being a benefit to him because he's down here, it causes him bad karma and he deserves to be killed for it.
Rivka, you're a genius. We're going to make that comparison. And ARN, you're an idiot because you don't understand how Hinduism works. Hinduism is a lot more, let me educate you about Hinduism. Hinduism is a lot more fluid than many other religions. And there are parallel stories that exist that are along the same time. There are some of them that are more popular, some of them that are less popular. So maybe you should go educate yourself about Hinduism before you come preach to us. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, YouTube has fully demonetized our channel for supposedly hateful and harmful conduct without telling us what we did wrong. If we get to 1,000 patrons, we will be able to keep paying all our team, our editors, our artists without ever having to worry about monetization again, which would be amazing. Yay! So please support Atheist Republic on Patreon. Link in the description below.